Hi, I'm Atra Perencheri and you are watching The Wire. Let's talk about Delhi's current pollution woes and why it is a perfect example of how science does not guide the Delhi government's actions, contrary to recent claims by Environment Minister Manjinder Sigh Sirsa. But first, let's sip some water. The Yamuna is flowing dirty. So dirty, in fact, that the Delhi government made a separate pond for Chhat Puja rituals right next to the Yamuna. Now, photographs and video reports of the two water bodies show a shocking contrast. The water in the Yamuna is a dark cement grey, while the water in the pond is clearer.
ये जो दूर से पानी आ रहा है, ये यमुना का पानी है और यमुना के ऊपर वासुदेव घाट बनाया गया था कि यमुना से वासुदेव घाट से यमुना के दर्शन हो और लोग यमुना के अंदर जा सकें। मगर पिछले कुछ दिनों में वासुदेव घाट को यमुना से अलग किया गया है और बीच में आप देखिए मिट्टी की एक बाउंड्री बनाई गई है। तो आप साफ देख सकते हैं कि यमुना अलग है, मगर वासुदेव घाट पे जो पानी आया है वो अलग है। और अब मैं ये भी बताऊंगा ये पानी कहाँ से आया है और कैसे लाया गया है। दूर जूम करके दिखाइए वो हरे रंग की पानी की पाइपलाइन। ये पानी की पाइपलाइन सोनिया विहार से गंगा का साफ फिल्टर्ड पानी लेके आ रही है। यानी कि वो पानी जो गंगा से आती है उस पानी को सोनिया विहार में फिल्टर किया जाता है और पीने लायक बनाया जाता है। उस पीने लायक पानी से एक मोटी पाइपलाइन काट के चोरी छुपे यहां वासुदेव घाट में जोड़ी गई है।
But at least there was water in the river then. According to recent news reports, the Yamuna may soon barely flow. Data from the Central Water Commission, which keeps track of water released from reservoirs, shows that a few days before Chhat, authorities released more cusecs of water into the Yamuna. And right after, they diverted water back into irrigation canals and away from the river. An environmentalist compared this control over the Yamuna to a tap being turned on and off at will. He cautioned that meddling with the river's flow this way is just not scientific. Of course, there are reports that this year, authorities sprayed chemicals on the Yamuna to suppress the foam that builds up on the water surface due to pollution. That, some say, is the reason why devotees did not see the foam this year. Now, let's inhale. After Diwali, Delhi and actually a lot of places in North India have been reeling under really poor air quality.
Air quality of the Indian capital New Delhi and its adjoining areas called the NCR or National Capital Region worsened after the Diwali celebrations.
A lot of firecrackers that were burst in the National Capital area specifically, and therefore that has resulted part of grey sky and thick smog.
The levels of fine particulate matter have increased. And studies show that exposure to high levels of this major air pollutant can cause a lot of health concerns, from respiratory diseases to cancer. In fact, the deaths of more than 17 lakh Indians in 2022 were linked to air pollution, a recent study found. Now this is 38% more than the figures in 2010. Another analysis by the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, published on Friday, shows that 15% of all deaths in Delhi in 2023 alone were due to air pollution. That's around 17,200 deaths. So what is the Delhi government doing about this in the country's national capital? One involved trucks misting fine sprays of water around pollution monitoring equipment, the intention being to suppress the readings of pollutant levels. Now, India's air quality index is capped at 500, so it does not capture pollution levels higher than that. And earlier, on October 20, that was Diwali night, Data even went missing. The websites of all four government agencies that provide real-time monitoring of pollution levels in the city just blanked out. They could not be accessed. Now on Thursday, Delhi recorded its worst air quality index for October in 3 years at 373. Another spectacle the government decided to come up with to improve air quality was cloud seeding. Now what's cloud seeding? It's a way to trigger artificial rain by releasing chemicals into clouds to quicken the formation of water droplets. On Tuesday this week, Delhi got its first official cloud seeding experiment. A small propeller aircraft took off from Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh and released 16 flares into rain clouds above parts of northwest Delhi and Noida. Now, the flares contained sodium chloride or common salt and silver iodide. The aim of this experiment? To trigger rain so that it brings down the levels of pollutants in the air. This use of cloud seeding is a first for India. Now, India and other countries, including China, have experimented with cloud seeding before to bring rain to water-starved areas. For example, in India, cloud seeding has been tried in the Marathwada region in Maharashtra. But here are some additional facts about Delhi's cloud seeding trial that you must know. It was unsuccessful. There has been no rain reported after the cloud seeding experiment over the city. And did you know that an earlier test trial that the Delhi government conducted over areas including Burari a week ago was also unsuccessful? There were not enough clouds then too, just like on Tuesday. See, that's the thing about cloud seeding. It will bring rain only if there are existing rain clouds in the area. And here's another fact. It costs a lot of money. According to some estimates, the cloud seeding attempt on Tuesday alone cost around 1.2 crore. And it also comes with consequences. According to science, long-term exposure to these chemicals raining down from the sky can cause adverse impacts on people's health and the environment. Silver toxicity is a concern, climate scientist Jayanarayanan Kuttipurath told me today. This is what the IIT Kharagpur scientist had to say.
This cloud seeding uses silver iodide. And if we do that more often, that's another problem because, silver iodide is a regulated hazardous substance. So if we have more these artificial rain or cloud seeding, that could also pollute the environment with silver toxicity. Cloud seeding is a temporary solution. It's not a permanent one, and we need permanent solutions, long-term solutions for this. And for that, we need to know the sources, of course, and we know that the vehicular transport, it is one of the biggest sources there. So we have to encourage public transport, improve the network of bus, metro, those type of vehicles, and promote EVs like that. And then second is dust sources are there from construction and industrial sources. When they construct something, demolish some of these buildings, then the dust will be there. So we have to regulate industrial emissions. And then we also need to manage a road dust. And then the third one will be stubble burning. Of course, there are contradictory studies recently. Like some say that this is contributing to Delhi pollution, and some say it's not. But we know that there is contribution from stubble burning from nearby states, and we need to do something about that, this stubble burning issue. And the interstate cooperation for cleaner agriculture practices. And there are also government schemes to reduce the stubble burning, and maybe those can be encouraged.
Experts have already called out the cloud seeding trials. One environmentalist called it policy making by optics. An IIT Delhi scientist told the media that these trials were futile attempts and cloud seeding cannot solve Delhi's air crisis. Veteran quizmaster Siddharth Basu likely posed one of his most important questions on Wednesday. Are these snake oil solutions the best that triple engine governance can come up with for one of the most polluted cities in the world? He asked. Science and scientists are clear. What Delhi needs are long-term solutions to effectively tackle pollution of any kind, be it in the air or water. And that is the science that should be guiding the actions of the Delhi government. And moreover, the problem is not just Delhi's alone, but most of North India's. According to one report last year, 74 of the top 100 most polluted cities in the world are in India. The Modi government, meanwhile, blatantly ignores science by claiming that there is no scientific data to link air pollution to people's deaths. If this is the state of affairs in India's capital city, what must be the case in other less privileged towns and cities?